Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is mid-month for February Tarot Oracle reading. And Aries, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Aries, we still all have a little bit of Aries in us. If you have your birth chart, which house is Aries in? That's where this energy shows up for you. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. Remember, this is a general or collective reading, so parts may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it's the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, it could give you further clarity as to your situation now. We're going to begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. And we have the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands is saying that the underlying energy for this reading is that you're in the mood for something different. It's talking about wanting to expand your horizons. This energy, it looks like this is sand, but it's actually water. There's ships here. So your ships are sailing in and they're sailing by, and you're thinking about hopping on one of those babies and going for a ride. That's the energy. And it's just having a desire to expand your horizons and move on to distant shores. It's, you know, the sun is shining on the water. That's why it looks so yellow. He has his hand on this wand. The wands represent action and the element of fire. And so this is talking about being passionate about moving forward with something else. There's like, it's almost like a portal that he's walked through. This can kind of represent the 111 portal or 1111 portal, which is an energy where the universe shows synchronicity through, you know when you've entered it because you'll be in this energy of, you're working away and you look up at the clock and it's 11:11, and then all of a sudden a couple hours later you walk by the stove and the stove says it's 1:11. Then you have a package that you go need to pick up, and you look up the address and it's 1111 11th Avenue. And you're like, what? And then you get in your vehicle and you're driving and there's a detour, and the detour, the vehicle in front of you is 111. And so you're like, what? The license plate on the vehicle. And so you're, this is the universe communicating through synchronicity. And what it is saying is that you're manifesting at a very high level right now. And you need to be careful of your thoughts, that you keep them in line with where you're going rather than, and where you want to go, rather than what's happened in the past or what you don't want. And so you'll notice, and quite often when, when you say, oh, it's 11:11, okay. And then you realize, oh, I was having a negative thought. And you don't even realize you were until it's pointed out to you. And then this is about, yes, wanting to move forward with, when you know what you know, like you're ready to move forward. and it's kind of that kind of energy, conviction beyond a doubt. It's someone who's kind of in between though, because he's standing on higher ground and he's willing to fight for the action of what he wants to do. There may be some issues that he has to deal with yet. And you notice he has one shoe and one boot on. So this represents being in two worlds sometimes, not quite, or being halfway through a decision, not quite 100, you know what you know, but and you're willing to fight for it, but you're not there yet. Like you haven't made the plans to move forward. And so this quite often, this card is the underlying energy for the internal forces. We have the Page of Swords coming in. So the Page of Swords is the pages would work for the King and Queen. Generally, they would start around the age of 7 to 14, and they would work for the King and Queen delivering messages in the palace walls and just doing small tasks, etc. They quite often would come from the outlying families, where like higher society families, and sometimes even like distant cousins of the King and Queen. And their job was just to, do the tasks and that. But when they got older, when they hit 21, if they could afford a horse, they might be considered for knighthood if they've been suitable. And the element that the Page of Swords has is the sword. Swords represent the energy of your thoughts, your mental intelligence, your discipline over your mind. They're a double-edged sword. And so the interesting about the Page of Swords is that he is not really looking at his element, and the rest of the pages are really heavily focused on their element. That's because he already has the thought, and now he's looking away because he's wanting to think outside the box, you know, and use his intuition as well as his logic to come to some sort of creative solution. So this represents someone who's a real forward thinker, someone who has an open mind. And, you know, it always reminds me of the, you know, like it looks like he's about to golf here, about to have a swing. And so this is talking, I feel like, about, you know, the game of golf is very much a mental sport, meaning, you know, if at the first hole you have a bad round, you know, some people will fall apart and then the rest of the game continues that way. But some people can pull it together and maybe get a hole in one in the next shot. It's kind of energy. So then we have the page of, so this is communication coming in. This will be an email, a phone call, news. It could be something on the news, social media post, a text, you know, that kind of energy. It could be in person, but it also could just be like one of those other forms of communication. And we do have now a Page of Cups. So we've got communication about some great thought. This also can represent, I've had a wonderful thought here. And that's kind of the energy that's being represented here, Aries. So this is really good. Like you're thinking about moving forward. You've got an open mind about it. You have something that you really like an idea that you want to pursue. And the energy is talking about, there's also a cup of love here. So this is the Page of Cups is, he's aware there's plenty of fish in the sea, but he's looking at this fish in this cup. And so he's very focused on it. And he's, you know, this could represent someone who has his eye on you or her eye on you, because these also are archetypes. And so they could be, in the old days, they would have been male for sure, but they can be females in their masculine energy. And so someone has their eye on, their romantic eye on you. And so this could represent, hey, would you like to go for a date? Would you like to go out for a cup of coffee? You know, bumping into someone and going for a walk with each other, or something like that. It's a first communication. Someone who gives you a call and says, hey, you know, would you like to go on a date with me? That kind of energy. And then we have the Three of Pentacles coming, or the Three of Cups coming in. And so the Three of Cups is a card of celebration, but it's not my favorite card for celebration because they're not looking at each other. They're looking at the cup. And so the cup is about something, you know, the cups in tarot represent romantic love first and foremost. And then they all, you know, other people that you love and what you love to say or do or be kind of energy. And so it's like they're not looking at, none of them are looking at each other. And in many, many cultures, predominantly in Europe, if you don't look someone in the eye when you toast them, then it's 7 years of bad luck in your romantic life. So it just doesn't fit. This card usually ends up, there's something fishy going on, because this can also mean there's something fishy going on in your love life. And now we have this card. I don't mention that until I mention that. And this sometimes can be that you're leaving a couple and you're going single. So I don't mention it unless it comes up, but now it feels like it's because there's three people here and three cups. And, you know, if it's about love, what's the third person doing there? Judgment is being called. So judgment is being called from the Most High, from, you know, the spiritual realm, all the way down to the physical. The ancestors are cheering, yay, and the descendants they're so happy that this judgment is being called, so that you become aware of what is really going on and can move forward. That's the energy I'm getting, Aries. And So the trumpet is blowing. And sometimes this can be skeletons in the falling out of the closet, or the opening of Pandora's box. Yeah, and it's like, okay, now this energy is talking about walking away from someone or something that you love. And so this is the energy we're in here. So I feel like now that we have more information here, this is if you look here, this is someone who has put 8 cups of love into someone or something. And I feel like it's someone, because this is predominantly cups and passion. And the information, okay, you can come up here, sweetie. Did you eat all your chicken? My cat is like really needing, she's not feeling 100% today. It's okay, you're a good girl. You lay down and purr. Okay, she's already purring. That's a good sign. So, but you notice there's like 8 cups here, but there, you notice these 2 and this one to the side. That's the energy I'm talking about. So when this card comes up, I'm always, here we go. It's that kind of energy coming in. And so this, and we have the full moon in the background. So the full moon was, the last full moon we had was on February 1st. And that was in the sign of Leo. And the opposing sign to Leo is Aquarius. So the Leo moon was like wanting, that full moon was wanting to express like the energy of an individual. Like, I want to express myself. I want to be able to be important. And the Aquarian energy opposing is saying, no, you need to look after your responsibilities, and, you know, the big crowd kind of energy, the whole family. Your needs aren't as important as the needs of the whole. And I feel like maybe you had come to some sort of recognition about your relationship, and you've decided to walk away. And the full moon, I'm not saying it had to have happened on the full moon, but if it's happened recently, the full moon would be the perfect time to do it, to release whatever's no longer serving you, to prepare for the new moon coming up. And so that's the energy. We've got those 5 cups lined up really nice. And then do you notice this? These 2 and then this one. So it just feels like you're walking away from a relationship that you could possibly have been in for 8 years with the 8 cups. So, and then we have the Wheel of Fortune is turning. So the Wheel of Fortune actually is a card of saying that, you know, your luck is changing, and that fortune is smiling upon you. The past, the present, and the future are coming together so that you can get on your destined path and really get what you truly deserve, all the love and the passion and everything you want in your life. So the internal forces are the forces that you have control of, and that's when, you know, you'd be in this position like asking, what if they are cheating on me? What if there's other people involved? What if everybody knows but me and no one's telling me? That kind of energy. What if, what if? And so these internal forces, you have control over them. The external forces are, you know, the EFs. That's when you're saying what the EF happened. And so we'll get to that in a minute. We're just going to go through this. This is how you identify with yourself right now, waiting for some information to come in. And this is regarding your abundance and your self-worth. So you understand that you also understand there's plenty of fish in the sea, but you feel that you are well worth this person's focus. And that's what you want. You want that kind of relationship where they're looking you in the eye. It's a fish, but, you know, it's representing the relationship. He has more interest in this fish than they do in each other, you know, that kind of energy. And so the communication from early life, you may have been in I don't know, I'm just getting a middle child energy, you know, just maybe feeling misunderstood a lot of the time, that kind of energy. And really feeling like, you know, you couldn't communicate, or you felt maybe like the odd person out, and now it's kind of playing out in your love life. And maybe this isn't the first time kind of energy. So the next card is the Judgment coming in, and this is in the place of your emotional foundation. And I feel like your ancestors, maybe you have some crossed over loved ones on the other side, and they're saying, yay, it's about time that you found out the truth of what's going on, because they're watching it happen from below. And then we have the energy of the creativity, romance, and children. And this is talking about, walking away from that. I feel in this case that it's more like maybe, I don't think you're walking away from your children, but you're walking away from a romance with someone that you thought you might have children with. Because it's pages and not nights, I feel like you are probably quite young. Possibilities, or, you might have children and be walking away, but that you're not walking away from your children. And then here is the daily routine and habits. So this is like talking about, like if you are already married or something. I really feel that this is more of a dating situation though, or, like not a totally committed relationship, but one that it is a committed relationship, but not like marriage kind of energy. It hasn't gone to that point yet. And luckily so, if this is the energy. So we will see here, what is the underlying energy for the external forces. And we have, we have the devil here coming in. So the devil is temptation. So I feel like that's kind of confirming your situation, that perhaps your partner was tempted to have a third party involvement, and you found out about it through this information that came in, and now you're thinking, I'm just going to leave this relationship and move forward. And you have conviction beyond a doubt that you're going to do that, but you just aren't. I don't think you have the details yet. I feel like you might be still in the raw moment of this. When this card comes in, you notice that these lovers here are yoked to each other with these chains, and also to Saturn's box. So this is an energy of, the devil here is hunched over the box, and it's talking about animal instincts. So this is a card more of lust than of love. Having said that, and temptation is temptation, and it looks like someone stepped out. So we're just going to cover the devil with the next card, because the devil is our archetype representing temptation and evil, like doing things that are wrong. We're going to just cover it, because you're not going to get the truth from him, and we're going to see, who did he send in as his minion to do his dirty work, or did God send so? Yeah, there we have it. See, there's the card of disappointment in your love life. There's the 3 cups, there's the 3 cups, there's the 3 cups. But God is saying, okay, now take another cup. And you're like, I'm not taking another cup. I'm going to be single the rest of my life after what happened here. And God's saying, no, like, you really need to take another cup. Like you would be, this is your destiny is turning, and this will be the perfect lover for you. Except then now we also have the conception card. And I was like getting this feeling like, is this cup representing there was a threesome and there was a baby that was conceived? And this is the card of conception from an external force. So not only did your partner cheat on you, but someone's pregnant. So the person that if it's your husband or your boyfriend cheated with is pregnant, or you're pregnant with someone else's child. It's that kind of energy. And then this is in the position of your commitment to your marriage and your partnerships. And this is a total transition happening. So what you thought was like maybe the ideal, happy relationship, you found out the hard way that it actually wasn't. This is like this is death, secrets coming out, and a total transformation. And it's also regarding shared resources. So, dividing assets kind of energy, and shared resources, like, I don't think I have to spell it out. If you're in there, And so this is talking about, I feel this King of Swords is representing a lawyer, a divorce lawyer more than likely, because the King of Swords is a professional that you go to that uses he uses words to earn his living, and paperwork, and that kind of energy. He has a sword because that's like, he's very intelligent, has This would be someone that's very, like if he's a lawyer, he's a partner in the firm kind of energy. And I feel like this is probably, you've gone for legal advice. Maybe you are married, maybe not, but maybe you have assets together and they have to be divided. But you're done. And I feel like there is a baby on the way because of this conception right here. Like, and so, but it's also God saying, like, you deserve happiness. This is your higher learning position. And then look at this. There's 10 of Pentacles coming in here. So the 10 of Pentacles is representing the lifestyle you always wanted. It's saying, ditch this dude or this woman. It's time to, you know, be with someone that really does appreciate you and you have this in your life. And it's talking about like having the lifestyle. Like Pentacles represent the coin, but they also talk about, you know, it's raining money. You have the perfect partner, the 2 dogs, you know, there's children and the neighbors to visit with. But it may be this is what you had and this is what you're now having to divide. That very much could be. And thinking like you had it all and now you're seeing a divorce lawyer and you're arguing over who gets what. That's what's coming up. And this has put you in a mental prison. That's why you haven't been able to leave yet. I feel like you're waiting for this to be completed so that you can move. And this is like move, not just move on, but I feel like you really actually want to move to a different city or something. And I feel like stranger things have happened. Maybe you've fallen in love with your divorce lawyer. I doubt it, but maybe. But like there's someone out there that I feel like you've already met or whatever. Or God sending someone in really quickly. But it's more like you have to heal from this energy before you want to be with anyone. Or you don't want to be repeating the mistake. But this feels like it was really emotional. And like you have 1 foot now on dry land here, and this other foot is in very shallow water. I feel like when you started, you had a lot of emotion, and this is almost like all the tears you cried. But you have now this, and male or female, and this is the 8 thoughts and everything you had to go through, and or the 7, and now you only have 1 more, and that is the thought, I'm ready to move on. I know what I know. And this person is now has a baby with someone else. And so we have the Strength card. This is going to take a lot of courage. This is representing someone who's wanting to face it, though. And I feel like it's some sort of energy also from your childhood that, like, because I did all these Valentine's Day readings, and this is very similar to them, but it was because the astrological influences with everything coming in. And Aries is really affected by a lot of astrological influences right now. Because, for one thing, on January 26th, Neptune, which is a big planet, and it's all about being idealistic and seeing things from like an optimistic point of view. Neptune moved from Pisces into the sign of Aries, and it took 14 years. Like it'll be in Aries now for 14 years. So out of all the signs, Pisces and Aries are really feeling that. So Neptune is an idealistic, but in Pisces energy, like if you've been in this relationship for like 8 years, say, for like that whole time you would have been, Neptune would have been in Pisces energy, which makes you more idealistic, more forgiving, like, oh, you know, like it was an accident, whatever, you know, that kind of energy. And now that it's in Mars, it's like aggressive and it's in your sign. And Mars is the baby, the infant of the zodiac. And, you know, you have your needs, and the energy is very rammy. So when an Aries feels like they're stubborn about something or they want to move on, then it's kind of like it's in their head, you know. I don't have to tell you, you're an Aries, so you know. But now Neptune is in Aries, so all that idealistic energy you were feeling for your partner has flown the coop. And on the 13th of February, right before Valentine's Day, Saturn is joining that energy in joining Neptune in Aries. And so you're really feeling it because Saturn rules this energy and also the energy of Capricorn. And so that's about taking consistent steps of actions towards your goals. And it's a very, like, it's about, Saturn is all about responsibility and looking after everyone and making sure you do things correctly and that kind of energy. So, and if you don't, then you have to pay the consequences. That's kind of energy. So it's kind of like you have both those signs now in Aries. And so Aries is really feeling it. And so maybe what you would have forgiven in the past, you're not feeling idealistic right now. You're feeling pissed off, basically. You're the mountain goat that climbed to the top of the mountain and got a good view of what was going on and said, I don't think so. You know, that's this energy here. So you're willing to face your fears around this, and this is what the lion represents, is your fear. And it can be from your childhood, you know, like it could be from your subconscious mind, but you're willing to face it, and you feel like it's a full-grown lion, and this young woman is sticking her mouth in there and saying, I don't care, I'm facing my fears and I'm not gonna back down. I want what I want. And so this is really strong energy for you to be in, Aries. It takes courage to be able to do that. So, you know, basically this is just talking about I feel like you're ready, though. I feel like this person, I do feel like you also gave them chances in the past. And, you know, they're just immature. And I feel like maybe I'm still getting the impression that that you're not, even if you've been with this person for quite some time, I feel like it's someone maybe that you knew in high school kind of energy for some, you know. And this could also represent 8 months. You know, it doesn't have to be that long of a period of time, but when you pour your heart in, you pour your heart in. So, definite. It's not 8 hours. No. So I'm going to clarify this with my oracle, Tales from the Vector, TAILS. And I have a website, talesfromthevector.com. So you can, in the description box below, I'm going to put the cards as they come up in the order they do. The numbers on them represent the paintings that I did in the gallery there on my website, talesfromthevector.com. And I started this back in 2007, and in 2020, I did complete all the paintings. There's 64, and it's courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. So yeah, it was a lot of fun doing it, but I'm getting ready to bring it out now, print it out, but I'm working on the information now that goes with it. I'm learning so much with all of you, because I have used it before when I used to have seminars and also at psychic fairs for several years, but the paintings weren't all done. So here we go. The underlying energy is the Hermit. So yeah, this is, you did the smart thing. When this information came in, I feel you went and you climbed the mountain, being the mountain goat kind of energy. We were talking about consistent steps of action, but you went up to the top to isolate yourself and to go inward and get some clarity for yourself. And the Hermit carries the lamp, and in the lamp there is the North Star, which is your destined path. And that's when this is saying it's turning. And it's because you went and you went inward, and you didn't, you are taking action from the insight you received from that. We have the energy of the Wheel of Fortune here. And so this is talking about confirming this, that you know what you know. It's time to move on. That's what it's saying. And that synchronicities, especially if you've been seeing that 1111 and 111 energy. We have foolhardy. Yeah, you're ready to go on a real strong path now. This is like destiny after this hardship. Libra, you're ready for marriage now. Maybe you weren't quite ready. When the signs come in, I just want to make it clear that I'm not talking about an individual that is a Libra or whatever. That may be true for you, but I'm talking about the state of being of the sign, because we have all the signs somewhere in our chart. And so this is the energy of you're now in a position where you're ready for a mature commitment. And you want a partner that also is in that kind of energy. And so when you're on a foolhardy energy, you let go of the expectations that you had in the past, and you're ready to move on in a different way. This is talking about falling star, and falling star is about your heart chakra. It's about falling and failing in love is a matter of I. So you have to look after yourself and love yourself first, and then you become unfettered. You're not bound, duty bound to anyone who would treat you in this way. We have the anger coming in. Yeah, and so once there's judgment, once you have the truth and everything comes out, it's really a good idea to let go of the anger as best you can, because the anger actually just holds you back. And so this is, and anger, like this may, you may have been like in a position where you said, maybe your parents were divorced or whatever, and you went through that and you said, I'm never going to do that again. But anger gets passed down from one generation to another. And maybe that's kind of, what you learned from your parents kind of, and when you were really young, when it's your subconscious mind. So it wouldn't be like you consciously decided, oh, that's what I'm going to do when I get older. This is using your intuition. Your intuition's telling you, this person, I feel like you've given them enough chances here. And we have, again, this is justice, but it's also confirming the 1111, 111, saying you really are manifesting at a high rate right now. And I feel like on some level you have this feeling of kind of like relief, like, like now that they've done this, now everyone will understand. But you never needed that kind of permission to go after your heart's desires. So this is dissemination of information. When there's an elephant in the room, and I do feel people are talking about it, and elephant, what elephant? I don't see an elephant in the room. And so the information is becoming scrambled because people are gossiping. That's the energy. Let them. People only gossip about people that are interesting. And so this is using your insight led you to this. You might have even hired a private eye, because that sometimes can be what this is about. And we have the strength. So it's saying again, it took a lot of strength, because this was like, boom, like this information kind of blew any illusions you had regarding this relationship being like a fulfilling one, The Emperor is here. So I feel this energy is talking about performance. I feel like you have a pretty good lawyer. That's the energy I'm picking up. And we have attachment. Yeah. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. So you might be fighting over the assets now. You probably have a pretty good leg to stand on, though, if that's happened. And then we have the sacral chakra energy. So again, this is saying, it's really interesting because we do manifest, like babies come from the sacral chakra, and they're manifesting that, but you're manifesting a new way to be. And it is saying again, do your best not to deny your thoughts or to suppress them, but to recognize them, and then to say, okay, what is that about? And work through it. That's what this is saying. Face whatever is coming up when you get the what ifs, that you look into it. And we have the Lovers here. I do feel that there's someone coming that's going to adore you. And that will be worthy of you, because this is a foolhardy journey that it's almost like, okay, now you have, what you need to have this awesome relationship that you've been always wanting. So I feel like Aries, it's like good news, bad news, but I feel like you're on the right track for sure. If you've enjoyed this reading, please do give it a like and a comment, and consider subscribing if you resonate. And I will be back with another reading for you regarding the new moon coming up. Bye for now.